What's going on, guys? Just want to fire up the camera and throw a couple of updates at you. I've got some inventory updates for RileyKnifeandTool.com, as well as actually a couple of new products that I'm going to be adding to RileyKnifeandTool.com. We'll talk about those during the latter half of the video, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. First things first, I did want to mention that I just added 8 more classic Victorinox paring knife sheaths to the website. That's going to look like these guys here. Black Kydex with a ball chain for this knife right here, the 3 1/4 inch Victorinox Classic Parer. One of my favorite little kitchen knives, perfect fit, easy in, easy out. And those will be on the site. I've got 8 currently. There will be a few more coming right behind those. I just haven't finished them up yet. But along those same lines, I will also mention that I've added 12 of these guys to the site. And this is really more for convenience than anything. It's not something I often do, but occasionally if I'm placing an order through a restaurant supply or similar, and they are having a sale or I can get a little bit of a quantity discount, occasionally I'll add a handful of something like these guys. And so I just added 12 yellow-handled classic Victorinox paring knives to the site. If you're interested in getting a sheath and maybe you don't already have a paring knife or you're looking for a newer one or a different color, hopefully it's yellow, because I believe that's about all I have for now. Check out the site though, because I know I do have a pile of a couple different models there in the office with my supplies. If it's in stock, I've got it. If not, I don't, but I do for sure have about 12 of those guys. First come, first serve. You can buy them with the sheath. You can buy them, by themselves. Buy one, buy them all. It's up to you guys. First come, first serve while supplies last. Again, more for your guys' convenience than anything. Right now, I've got them listed at $8 each. So that's about what they typically go for on other sites, if not even just a little bit cheaper. And then, of course, it depends on whether or not they charge shipping or don't. I charge a flat rate, so if you want to add it on to the order, maybe you'll save a few bucks that way, but those will be available while they last. So that's it for that update. Other thing I wanted to mention is I did add a small number of belt clip adapter kits back onto the website. I think right now I've got 8 or 9 of those currently left. I've already sold a couple. And I'll have a few more coming right behind those that I'm still working on finishing up and putting together. But those are on there. Check out the website for those. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically just an alternative carry method or two for my larger screwdriver and tool sheaths, though it can also be adapted to other types of sheaths and such. Check it out, look at the pictures. There's a YouTube video that kind of shows what it is and how it's put together, if you have any questions on that. But I think it's a clever little solution for some different carry options. So I've got those on the site. Last thing I'll mention as far as existing inventory, I believe I did just sell my last Klein stubby screwdriver sheath. I've got some more in progress on the bench behind me, but I probably won't have those finished or ready till probably closer to the end of the week. I'll try to get those back up as soon as I can, but I am aware they're out of stock. I am working on those. So that's kind of it for inventory updates. Now on to a couple of new products. We'll start with this guy here. This was actually as part of a customer request, though I took some of my own liberties and kind of ran with it. But I recently had a gentleman reach out asking if I can make a sheath for this knife, which is the Victorinox tomato and table knife. It's about the same size as their larger paring knife, but it's got the smaller serrations and a blunt tip. And what he was actually intending to use his for was for swiftwater rescue as a backup knife. Being that it's serrated, it's perfect for rope and webbing. And with that blunt tip, it's a little safer to use in that type of environment. So when he had reached out with that particular request, I kind of started thinking, and I said, you know what, maybe instead of black, I'll use something that's a little more safety oriented and something that's maybe a little easier to see in the dark or in the water. And so I chose some high-vis yellow, which I got to say, I think you could see this thing with your eyes closed. But really like how they came out. And in fact, I even added one additional accessory, something I came up with. I'm calling Molly straps. It's basically just a simple little Kydex strap Let's see. Here's kind of one example. I didn't quite finish out the way I wanted it to, but basically it's got some elongated eyelet holes so that this will work on eyelet spacing from anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And you can mount those directly to the sheath with the included fasteners, either vertically or horizontally. And it's really intended primarily to be mounted to like MOLLE webbing or similar, though I imagine you could adapt it to a number of different carry options. Even if you just wanted to mount one side of one hole to one eyelet, you'd have like an additional eyelet to mount to something else. Your imagination's kind of the limit there, but it just gives you a few more options that you might not have otherwise have. With that being said, they are removable. You can go to a ball chain if you'd rather. You can go to a regular belt clip. There's a number of different aftermarket clip and carry options that will use or work with this. Or you could just toss it in a pack or in a pocket all by itself. But just wanted to give some extra options. So that's this here. Now, as far as what I'm listing on the website, I'm listing just the sheath, which will include the straps and the fasteners. Price on these are going to be $30. There is a small upcharge for the colored Kydex as well as for the accessories. But if you are needing a knife as well, I am adding 12 of these guys to the site while supplies last as a separate purchase option. There will be a link in the listing for the sheath where you can click on and purchase these as well if you need to. Or Victorinox also offers, I think, like 10 or 12 other colors of that handled model knife. If you prefer a different color, or maybe you already have the knife, you can just buy the sheath by itself. But for the first batch of these, I'm offering them, again, like so, straps and fasteners included. For future iterations, I'm kind of playing it by ear right now. I may go back to just black Kydex. I may do some more in high-vis yellow. I may pick some other colors. I may pick some other mounting and carry options. We'll kind of see. And this may even be something that I offer just on its own with the fasteners and the straps. Still kind of working out those details. But I will have 12 of the sheaths on the site, minus the ones that have already sold as of the uploading of this video. So that's that. And lastly, we'll wrap the video up with one more new model of sheath, which is going to be for this guy, the Klein USA made drop forged steel scratch awl. This was by customer request as well. This is what I came up with. Each sheath will include a locking belt clip and the fasteners that typically come with the belt clips, which are going to be metric binding post and screws and some thin rubber washers. I will mention, I will add, this does work nicely with my spare hardware kit, which comes with SAE, their 8-32 binding post screws and some 3/8 long nylon spacers. If you'd rather upgrade to that, those are available separately on the website. Or this will also work with my belt clip adapter kit if you want to purchase that along with this. It'll still come with the standard clip and fasteners, but that is an add-on if you want to carry it that way. But really happy with how this came out. I mean, these are just such great little tools. I know I've mentioned these in previous videos, or at least the other scratch awls that I've made sheaths for. These are a highly underrated tool. I don't see a whole lot of guys often daily carrying one of these, but they're one of those tools that when you have one nearby within reach, you're going to be reaching for it a lot. It's just really handy, whether you're center punching for nails or screws, whether you're marking for cuts or just engraving something onto a surface, cleaning something out, probing something, maybe even as a last-ditch self-defense tool. There's a lot of really great uses for these, and no better way I can think of to carry than a nice Kydex sheath. Which, again, you don't even necessarily need to put just on your belt. You can just put this in your tool bag. I mean, think about it. Maybe you just spent a couple $100 on a Vito Pro Pack. You don't necessarily want to be shoving this down in the pocket where it's going to stab through and pin your bag to the floor. You put one of these bad boys in the tool bag pocket, and it will protect not only you, but your tool bag as well. And you definitely don't want to just be throwing this in your front pocket where you're going to fall down and jam it through an artery or something. So gives you a little more safety, a little more options, certainly some more convenience. So check those out on the site. Off the top of my head, I don't remember what I priced these at, but they're going to be the same as my other Klein Scratch All sheath. Pretty much the same accessories, but made to work with this one specifically, which, while not the comfort handle, it is still a really comfortable, nicely made tool, bulletproof, bomb-proof. Now this one, just as a quick aside, I did kind of customize for myself. I ground and polished the hammer strike as well as the probe end there. This comes usually in a much rougher finish, so I just kind of polished that up a little better, sharpen the point just a little more. Unfortunately, I don't have these available separately for sale on the website, at least not as of yet. And they are not included, but they are very affordable. I think I paid like $10 or $12 for this one. And just a really handy, highly recommended tool. It's one of those things, if you're in the trades at all, especially if you're a carpenter, but even if you're like HVAC or a mechanic, maintenance, whatever, pick one of these sheaths up, get the awl, and carry it for a week and see if you don't find yourself quite often reaching for it for your daily tasks, and see if I wasn't right about that. So that's going to be it for the update, guys. Really happy with the new products, how they came out. I think you guys will be too. As always, I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys' orders. I appreciate the feedback. Kind of keeps me motivated and moving forward. Again, I'm just a one-man shop trying to keep up with an ever-growing list of products and inventory. And sometimes it gets to be a little much, but you guys are worth it, and I do appreciate the orders. And for those who reach out with custom requests, by all means, keep those coming. I unfortunately can't say yes to all of them. I apologize for those I've said no to. Certainly nothing personal, but it just happens to be how things work out from time to time. So with all that being said, I'm already kind of losing my voice a little bit, so I'm going to stop blabbing. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate your watching. Appreciate your support. We'll see you on the next one.